Hey everyone, welcome back to Salt and Pepper Pickleball. My name is Giovanni, where we bring that good old pickle and pasión. Today we are going to be checking out the newest foam core paddles from Mars Pickleball that come from Northern Virginia, and it's going to be the Exotic Matter, this lovely thing here. Then I have the Mars Pro GRB, which has their Martian Foam B technology inside their core on this paddle. So now, these are not your typical pickleball paddles. Both bring a really unique feel to the court. So I wanted to spend some time with them and see how they actually compared once the games got a little competitive. So I'm going to go ahead and knock out the specs in the beginning so that way I can get back to the paddles. So starting off with the Exotic Matter. This is going to be an elongated pickleball paddle. It's 16.75 inches long when I measured it from the butt cap to the tip here. And then the width here is going to be 7.5. The handle length, when I measured it from the butt cap to where the tape meets the throat, 5.5 inches. Right on spec for them. And I actually installed the Mars Pickleball undergrip on here too. Felt really nice. It's really nice. Fits my fingers. I don't have any edges. I don't have any issues with it. Once I put my hand on there, it feels really nice. 5.5 inches is really good for your two-handed backhand. So fingers over, regular. And then if you like to do the little golf grip like I do, or if you like to put your pinky on top of your pointer finger there, enough room for all that. Feels really nice. Then this came in right at 8 ounces, and I felt like it was a little too light. I felt like I was having trouble with my timing from what I'm used to, like 8.5, 8.6, yeah, pushing 8.7 ounces. And I knew I had to throw some weight on here. But once I added their undergrip, I added a full wrap of the Mars Pickleball Edge Guard. Yeah, Mars Pickleball Edge Guard. And then I added a 3-inch strip of 1 gram per inch tungsten tape from 11.624. Man, I made this a beast. I turned it into an 8.9 ounce pickleball paddle. And I feel like it does a good job. It is a little bit on the heavier side, but it feels really good. I tried knocking off some of the weight, and things just didn't go right for me. As far as like plow through wise and things like that, this paddle definitely has a unique feel to it, but I'm going to get more into that a little bit later. So moving back to the paddle. So then this paddle is 16 millimeters thick. It is like I said, it is a full foam paddle with a floating core, and this actually has a tri-density foam layup, what they actually like to call lunar craters, or basically is dimples that are done to the foam that's actually the part of the floating core. And then the face layer is made up what Mars likes to call their extreme Martian carbon fiber weave. Guys, super gritty. I mean, listen to that. That is after about 30 hours of play, you guys. Nuts. And then everybody that I let feel this thing, they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. So it's actually pretty crazy. But moving over to the Pro GRB with that Mars Foam B core, this is going to be a hybrid shape. This is 16.25 inches long. Then the side here is actually tapered. So meaning that it starts here and it bows out just a little bit. So what I got here starting from the bottom to the top was basically 7.5 inches to 7.7 here at the top. Then the handle on this, from measuring from the butt cap to where the tape meets the throat, is actually going to be 5.5 inches as well. Then the grip circumference on this is a little bit thinner. It's at 7 1/4, which is still fine with an overgrip. I have no issues holding on to this. No issues whatsoever. Chewies, feel really good with this thing too. Feel like I have more than enough paddle there. Feels really good in my hands. You know, depending on what you like to do, the golf grip, the, you know, fingers over, or I've even seen 2 fingers over. You know, I've seen different things out there, and whatever works for you, you know. But yeah, anyway, there's enough room here for a nice Thule backhand. This one came in stock weight right at 8 ounces as well. So both actually came in right at 8 ounces. Again, felt like it was a little light, but it was maneuverable. I did actually like it, found no real issues with it. But I did add a little bit of weight. I chose not to put the Mars undergrip on here just because I wanted to see what the feel was, between 2 paddles that are foam paddles from the same company, and then have different handles. So, and then I put the blue Mars Pickleball edge guard on here. Really nice, little flashy with the with what they call their booger color from Goat Pickleball, their overgrip. I love their names over there, by the way. But yes, so feels good, feels great. Then I modded this one up. I did take the weights off because I wanted to test out the 11624 tungsten tape by actually taking it off one and seeing if I could stick it to the other. Because normally when you use silicone or tungsten or even lead tape, you put it on a pickleball paddle, and basically as soon as you start to pull it off, the glue separates from the actual material, and you know, you're paying $25 sometimes for a roll of tungsten tape, and you want it to last a little bit longer. And sure enough, the 11624 tape actually came off really nice on this, so I had no issues. So I'm able to use it twice so far. I'm going to see if I can use it a third time, but hey, we'll see what happens. So then I went ahead and modded this one up from that 8 ounces. I got it to 8.7. And what I did was I actually used 3-inch strips of their tungsten, 1 gram per inch tungsten tape from 11624, and I had it right here on the sides. I just wanted this to have a little bit more plow through, and I wanted to increase the swing weight just a tad, just a little bit more. That's why I didn't put it all the way at the top. I felt like it was going to be way too much swing weight. So that's why I put it here dead at the center. So basically put it here at the 3 and 9 position. So I could get that, again, to get that little bit of plow through that I really wanted, and that little bit of weight in my hands. And I did also put 2-inch strips of that 1 ounce per gram tungsten tape to underneath the handle here as well. I just went ahead and I unwrapped the factory grip, put a 1 or a 2-inch strip here. Basically, I put them on the side bevels here on the side. So basically this one here, and then if you flip it over, this one here, I put 2-inch strips of 1 gram per inch. So I added 4 inches just to counterbalance it a little bit more. It's still just a tad bit head heavy, but nothing uncomfortable, nothing uncontrollable. Like it's really nice, and it doesn't lag or anything like that. So like it was working for me. So that's how I bumped it up to the 8.7. Then, so this one here is a 16 millimeter. This one has a 16 millimeter thickness. This is a full foam paddle, but this is a notched foam floating core paddle. And it does, again, have their Martian foam B material inside. And then it's topped that extreme Martian carbon fiber weave. Guys, still gritty. Still gritty. And looks brand new. Still looks brand new. No issues with this bad boy. None whatsoever. So now we're going to break this review into first impressions, feel, power, spin, and then talk about who each paddle this is actually made for. Because honestly, these 2 paddles may come from the same family, but they do play very differently. And this isn't about picking a winner. It's more about figuring out which paddle matches your style and what trade-offs come with each one. So I'm going to go back to the Exotic Matter first. So the Exotic Matter, right away, the Exotic Matter felt stiff, like immediately noticeable for me, in my opinion. It has a very connected, direct feel off the face, but for me personally, it was also tougher on my elbow than I expected. I actually found myself reaching for it less during longer play sessions because of that feeling. Even though the undergrip is supposed to take away and absorb some vibrations, I still felt like I needed, of course, I still felt like I needed to customize it a little bit more. And that's how I got it to the 8-9, because I wanted to take away some of those vibration, those extra vibrations that I was getting. So again, I added the weights here at the bottom corners and things like that to improve plow through and to pull down the sweet spot slightly. I just wanted to bring it down a little bit more because with the ball dust, I was noticing I was hitting it just a little bit lower in the face, more here so than where I normally do, which is up here. And I know that's very minor. Like I was actually hitting it more, a little bit more dead center than I was a little bit here at the top. And so I brought it down a little bit more by adding that tungsten tape. But once I did that, the paddle started feeling a lot more stable through contact. Now let's talk about the spin here, because this thing is absolutely redunculous. The surface seriously feels like a cheese grater on the ball. The amount of bite you get is just wild. And it creates heavy shape on drives, rolls, dipping passes. I mean, because the paddle grabs the ball so aggressively, I actually had to adjust my mechanics just a little bit. I usually sit somewhere between an Eastern and a semi-Western grip, but with the exotic matter, I actually had to almost go to what I'm calling like a full semi-Western grip, just because I wanted to maximize the spin potential. But that pushed me into a much more aggressive low to high swing path. And honestly, once I actually leaned into that style, the paddle became a ton of fun. Even with the firmer feel and some of the arm fatigue, I still enjoyed playing with it because the payoff is real. Big power, huge spin, and a very explosive response when you attack the ball. If you love aggressive pickleball, this paddle absolutely delivers that energy. Now, let's go ahead and let's switch over to the Pro GRB. So, here we go again. First thing I noticed on this guy is how much calmer and easier it felt to play with. Compared to the exotic matter, this paddle just feels a little bit more relaxed in your hand. It's easier to control, easier to reset with, and honestly easier to trust right away. But don't make that mistake for this being soft or weak, because this thing can still create serious problems for your opponents. The best comparison I can make is that it reminds me a lot of something like the J2NF or even the J2CR in terms of overall vibe and then paddle personality. It just reminds me of those two paddles. You still get excellent spin with this, but it comes in a way that feels smoother and a little bit more manageable. This paddle creates really fun arcs and shapes on the ball where you almost feel like you're painting shots all around the court. There were honestly moments where I felt like the paddle was just doing magic tricks. But what stood out for me was how playable the foam beef feels. You still get heavy spin with this. You get great ball shaping, but it doesn't demand as much from your body or even your mechanics to unlock that performance. It feels easier on your arm. It's easier to maneuver and easier to use during longer play sessions. Compared to the exotic matter, it just felt more overall natural in my hands. So if I had to simplify the differences between these two paddles, the exotic matter is going to be stiffer, it's going to be more explosive, it's going to be higher and a higher power paddle with boomstick vibes. Guys, this really gave me boomsticks vibes. Then the Pro GRB is going to be a little bit smoother, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving, and it's definitely easier to live with option that still gives you elite level spin and shot shaping. The Exotic Matter has the higher ceiling if you can handle it physically and mechanically. It rewards aggressive swings and confident attacks. The Pro GRB, on the other hand, feels like the paddle most players could just pick up and trust immediately. It still performs at a high level though. It just does it in a more approachable way. Now going into who these paddles are actually going to be for. So the Exotic Matter, this baby right here, this is best suited for players who want maximum spin, big power, for your paddle to be a little bit firmer, and those that are demanding more responsiveness out of their paddles. If you're an aggressive player who likes to swing hard, attack off the bounce, and really shape the ball with modern mechanics, this paddle makes a lot of sense for those type of players. Now, the Pro GRB, this paddle feels better suited for players who want a smoother experience without losing access to heavy spin and creativity. If you want a paddle that still feels dangerous, but is easier to control, easier on your body, and more forgiving overall, this baby is the safer recommendation for most people. Now, at the end of the day, both of these paddles bring something really unique to the table, and that's what makes this comparison really fun. The Exotic Matter feels like the wild, aggressive, high spin monster, and then the Pro GRB feels like the more polished and approachable option that you can settle into more comfortably. And both paddles come in at $109, you guys. Both of these paddles are $109. You can't beat that. But right now, the Exotic Matter is out of stock. They are sold out, but I believe they should be having some more coming out. And they are also working on a new paddle that's going to be coming out hopefully sometime soon. I can't give any more details other than that. Then there is another one coming out. So there you go. There's some news. So neither one is better universally. It really depends on how you like to play and how much intensity you want from your paddle experience. Now, if you've tried any paddles from Mars Pickleball, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That would be great. I actually have another paddle review for Mars coming out, which is actually their Mars Nebula. This thing, I'm having a lot of fun with it. This one did come in, broken in for me already from Ronnie or Big Sarge. And man, I'm having a blast with this. He was telling me some things about it, and you know, he actually gave me one, and here I am. Can't wait to put this review out. I probably need like another 2 weeks on it, and then I'll be able to give like a really, really good full review on this. So wait for that one to come. But don't forget to reach out to Big Sarge on Instagram as well and tell him how much fun you're having with this paddle. Guys, they need more reviews. This really is a smaller company, and every little bit helps. I think that they're doing really good things out there. Marithe over there, the mad scientist, is cooking up some really cool paddles in the lab. And Ronnie or Big Sarge over there is doing a really good job promoting and getting these out there for people to play with. And then on a more personal note, I want to thank Marithe for letting me get these paddles so that way I could review them. Guys, I don't get paid for these reviews. I'm still buying these. I actually bought these two paddles. Ronnie was just nice enough to give me the other paddle while he was in town. We did the Frank Solana training camp together on that Saturday right before the Atlanta Slam. And man, really cool guy, really fun guy, really knowledgeable. I enjoyed my time playing with him, and then hanging out afterwards. We all went out and ate some barbecue and had a really good time. So anyway, thank you guys over there on Mars Pickleball. I really appreciate you guys letting me review these and all that good stuff. So again, guys, if you're enjoying these reviews, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, family, don't forget to keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep playing pickle with pasión.